Alright, guys, welcome. As you can tell by the title, I'm going to be going over the upcoming GameStop earnings. Um, just on my opinion, what I'm kind of expecting, just kind of like just putting in my own feedback. Hopefully, you guys can maybe benefit from. Maybe we can start a little bit of conversation here on this live stream. But anywho, today is March 22nd, 2021, and GameStop's earnings are tomorrow, March 23rd, after market at 4 p.m. Central Time, I believe. So 5 p.m. Eastern. Excuse me. And so, as you guys know, with like GameStop and everything that's going on, there's a lot of interesting stuff. So basically, just touching over real quick about GameStop if this is your first time listening about it. So basically, a guy from Reddit started making posts saying he's buying a bunch of option calls on GameStop because he believed that the stock and the company was shorted too much. And it was, I believe, it was shorted more than the like the amount of stocks available to trade. So he saw that as like an arbitrage scenario to where he could profit from. And this was like about a year ago. This was like I think like maybe 2019, maybe early 2020 when he started to do these trades. And fast forward about a year, and GameStop has taken off, as we can see from this chart. It was trading. We're on the hour. Let's go to the daily. You see, GameStop was trading super low, and $4 and 11, 10, the teens, and we shot up. And so all this momentum is gained because people started all buying in hopes of a short squeeze to happen. If you don't know what a short squeeze is, I think you should definitely check out a video. But long story short, it's just basically price flying up as people with short positions have to cover, and just price just squeezes. I know it's not a good explanation, but like I said, there's other people that can explain it. That's not really the purpose of this video. It's more about GameStop's earnings. So like I said, GameStop earnings are tomorrow. So my expectations are, I believe we are going to have positive earnings. So my reason for that. So first off, I just want to say, ever since Ryan Cohen was put onto the GameStop team, as you guys know, he was like the founder of Chewy. It's like a really successful brand that he ended up selling to PetSmart or Petco, like something like that, one of those like pet companies, and made made a good profit from that. And so now his endeavors or his adventures are more focused on GameStop. I believe he's kind of like trying to like grow their e-commerce brand and really give them like a online presence in like the gaming industry. So I think that's one positive for these earnings. We'll see kind of like Ryan Cohen, we'll probably like see a little bit of his vision. I think that'll definitely, hopefully, it's boosted earnings by now. I think he's been a part for like a month or two, so maybe we've seen a little bit of benefits from him joining the GameStop team. And then another reason, which is just kind of using logical sense, is just I like to call like real world talk. So we've seen like GameStop was having some negative earnings in parts of 2021, which we can reason for is due to COVID, because their stores weren't open, and if they were, not very many people shopping. Like money was tight for a lot of people and whatnot. We were in the middle of a pandemic. A lot of people are trying to go to GameStop and buy games, but so I think because now, like at least in the U.S., we're starting to open up and everything, slowly and steadily, that they're starting to see increase in profits. So it's another reason I do believe earnings will be positive. And to carry on, back to like the squeeze and whatnot, I don't think, in my opinion, that if you're in GameStop right now, you should worry too much about earnings numbers. Obviously, if you are If you do own some GameStop, you obviously do want it to be positive earnings. It's just overall is positive for the company, of course. So hopefully a gain in stock value. However, a short squeeze, like what we're trying to accomplish a short squeeze is we're trying to get people, trying to get the shorters to cover. So you're trying to get them to buy back the stock at that higher price. And as you guys know about like just everything going on with GameStop and like the hedge funds and stuff, just an earnings call isn't going to make them just start covering their losses. And that is also if you believe they haven't covered their losses. A lot of them, the main one, Melvin Capital, said they've covered their shorts. A lot of people say they're lying. Personally, I don't know. It's just so hard to tell. It's hard to like know what to believe. Um, I'm a little biased. Of course, I wanted to believe that they're lying and that the short squeeze is still coming, just because. Well, first off, I do own a little bit of GameStop, so I always want to make some money. But also, I think it'd just be really cool to see some crazy squeeze that like everyone's talking about. I just think that's really be something neat to see. So that's like my main take on like earnings and the potential squeeze with GameStop. It's just you want those positive numbers, but don't expect a squeeze to happen just because you got positive numbers. And let's say their numbers end up being negative. If they're negative, then you might see GameStop drop more. However, your goal for this, obviously, if you're in GameStop for the short, it's not necessarily for a positive earning. That's just kind of like a bonus. You want the short sellers to cover their trades over just having positive earnings. Um, so that's basically all I wanted to say. Just this quick live stream about GameStop. I'll finish off by doing just a little technical analysis on the chart, but we'll do that right now actually. So we'll start off with the daily. Definitely we see some seller momentum happening right there at about 277. Right here where we're at right now, we're at 194. Looks like we're definitely like kind of consolidating. That may be a volume issue or possibly just like holding that area. And then we'll do another sell. So we are on the do a broad floor for support. It would probably be about roughly right there. I think a lot of people would probably put it at about 100, which I can see on a lower time frame possibly, definitely a spot there. But the reason on the higher time frame I put this is just because we do see this increase or bullish candles going up, but like it's not very much volume. We don't really see the big burst until I'd say maybe one of these two candles, and especially this one. So we'll get dropped down to a lower time frame and we'll see more clearly. Okay, so definitely I'd say, oh yeah, well, definitely say about right here, I'd say. So that was in a bad spot. Other than that, again, we can draw a lower line right here. So we do see that bullish shoot up, and then it kind of just comes back down. And also with this bearish drop, we do see volume here, which would correlate with, well, one, these wicks, these just tapping, especially this one, just tapping and going back up. This one right here, tapping and going back up, a little more up. So I think we can definitely also put a line here at 170. I think there is a bunch of buyers and sellers in that area. So let's just drop down to the hour. And I really mainly just want to do this, just look at today's chart. So let's see, we started right on this candle right here, and just kind of like the whole day is just kind of bearish in the last few hours, kind of just consolidated, got a little bit of bullish momentum, but not enough to really do anything too crazy. But lower time frame, we can definitely add another zone right there. Possibly at 252, we do slow up and then continue. Can maybe draw a little minor line here. And we could probably draw one right here too. So these are the lines. It does seem like a lot, and we could definitely minimize them. However, we'll keep these lines. And so how I use my like support and resistance lines are to just find out like areas of price where I want to buy or sell based on my bias. So I own Gamestop for the full disclosure. I believe my buy-in price was around my average price is around 220ish. So I am down about $40-50 right now on the shares I own. But so so actually we're at this line I bought at resistance. However, I don't always use these lines, but I think they're a good example to show like if you are bullish on something, every time we tap down at these supports, it'd be a good idea to buy. Personally, I don't plan on selling GameStop. If it drops, I'm gonna just continue to hold. One reason would be they got a high dividend. I think it pays about 9%, 9.9 maybe annually. So that's a really, really high dividend if you know anything about dividends. So that's one thing. Again, I'm kind of in for the fun, for the squeeze. So I'm kind of holding until we see something at least 400, maybe hit the moon. We'll see. But so yeah, that's kind of just my viewpoint on GameStop. I kind of just wanted to go over my opinions on the earnings, just to retouch over it. I do believe earnings will be positive just because of the influence of Ryan Cohen joining the GameStop team. Also, with COVID pandemic starting to slow up a little bit, things are starting to open, get back to normal. I think that's positive for GameStop's company as of right now. Hopefully, they have a transition to a more online platform, maybe compete with those giants like GameStop. But also, do keep in mind that, like you heard people say last week about what's it called, the quadruple witching. Last Friday, everyone's like, "Oh, this is the big time. The squeeze is gonna happen. All these options expire." And what do you know? Friday came, Friday went, nothing happened. It was pretty mellow day compared to what we've seen. So if you're in for the squeeze, in my opinion, don't be discouraged if you see a positive earnings number, nothing happens. In my opinion, earnings don't really relate to the squeeze at all. It's just kind of like a positive if you want to see the stock go up, you want to see the company do well, of course. So hang in there with those diamond hands, people. Hopefully the squeeze comes soon. I'm in there with you guys, and I'll see you guys at the top. See ya.